From the smallest pistol on a soldier's hip to the largest gun ever built by human hands, this is the full story of German military power in World War II. These are the weapons, machines, and forces that made Nazi Germany the most feared military power in modern history. We start with the soldiers. The Wehrmacht. Over 18 million men, trained to think and act without waiting for orders. Aggressive, disciplined, and faster than anything they faced. In Poland and France, they moved so fast their enemies collapsed before they could even respond. The Waffen-SS. The elite formations. First pick of weapons, first into the hardest battles. At Kharkov, they retook a city the Soviets thought was gone forever. Wherever they appeared, Allied commanders braced for the worst. The Fallschirmjäger. Paratroopers who dropped from the sky onto targets conventional forces could never reach. They took Fort Ebenemehl, a fortress considered impregnable, in under 24 hours. The world had never seen soldiers fight like this. Now the rifles and small arms. The Karabiner 98K. The standard German infantry rifle. Bolt action, precise, and completely reliable in every condition. Over 14 million produced, carried on every front from Africa to Russia. The MP40. Compact and fast firing, built for close quarters chaos. Perfect for urban streets, trenches, and vehicle assaults. Every German soldier trusted it completely. The SDG-44. The world's first assault rifle. It combined rifle range with submachine gun firepower in one weapon. So revolutionary that it influenced almost every assault rifle designed after the war, including the AK-47. The MG-42. Over 1,000 rounds per minute. Allied soldiers called it Hitler's buzzsaw because of the terrifying ripping sound it made. A single crew with this weapon could pin down an entire advancing platoon. The Panzerfaust. A cheap, single-shot anti-tank weapon any soldier could carry and fire in seconds. Even the heaviest Allied tanks were vulnerable to it. Germany produced millions, and it remained deadly until the very last day of fighting. The Walther P-38. The standard officer sidearm. Reliable, accurate, and beautifully built. Captured examples became some of the most prized trophies Allied soldiers could carry home. Now the armor. The Panzer IV. The most produced German tank of the war, over 8,000 built. It fought from the first day to the last, upgraded constantly to stay competitive. The true backbone of German armored power. The Tiger I. Its armor was so thick most Allied guns could not penetrate it from the front. Its 88mm cannon destroyed enemy tanks from over a mile away before they could even return fire. One Tiger crew wiped out over 100 Allied vehicles in a single engagement at Villers Bocage. The Tiger II. Heavier than the Tiger I. More armor. More firepower. No Allied tank could face it head-on and survive. The only things that stopped it were fuel shortages, mechanical breakdowns, and bombs from the air. The Panther. Designed to counter the Soviet T-34, it became arguably the finest all-around tank of the entire war. Fast, long-ranged, and nearly impossible to penetrate from the front. A single Panther crew in a good position could hold off an entire armored column. The Stu-G3. Not a tank, a self-propelled assault gun with a low profile and a powerful cannon. Cheap to build, produced in massive numbers, and brutally effective. It destroyed more enemy tanks than any other German armored vehicle in the war. Now the skies. The Messerschmitt Bf 109. The backbone of the Luftwaffe and the most produced fighter aircraft in history. Over 33,000 built. The greatest ace of all time, Erich Hartmann, flew this plane to over 300 confirmed kills. That record has never been broken. The Focke-Wulf FW 190. When it appeared over the English Channel in 1941, it outclassed every Allied fighter it met. The British were so shocked they rushed emergency upgrades to the Spitfire just to keep up. One of the finest fighters ever built. The Junkers Ju-87 Stuka. Fitted with screaming dive sirens called Jericho trumpets, it psychologically terrorized soldiers on the ground before the bombs even landed. In the early war years, with German fighters protecting it, it was nearly impossible to stop. The Messerschmitt Me 262. The world's first operational jet fighter. Faster than anything the Allies could fly. 4 cannons that tore through enemy aircraft with ease. It arrived too late to change the war, but it changed aviation forever. Now beneath the waves. The U-boat. Germany's most strategically powerful weapon. Wolf packs of submarines nearly strangled Britain into surrender by destroying Atlantic supply convoys. In 1942 alone, they sank over 6 million tons of Allied shipping. 4 years, they were winning the Battle of the Atlantic. The Bismarck, Germany's most famous warship. It sank HMS Hood, Britain's largest vessel, in under 10 minutes with a single devastating salvo. The entire Royal Navy was sent to hunt it down. It took battleships, cruisers, and torpedo aircraft combined to finally stop it. Now artillery. The 88mm flak gun. Designed as an anti-aircraft weapon, it became the most feared gun on any battlefield. It could destroy any Allied tank from any range. In North Africa and Normandy, it stopped entire armoured advances by itself. Allied tank crews feared it above everything else. The Nebelwerfer, a multi-barrel rocket launcher that flooded a target area with screaming rockets in seconds. Allied soldiers called it the Screaming Mimi for the terrifying wail it made in flight. Fast, ferocious, and psychologically devastating. The Schwerer Gustav, the largest artillery piece ever built. An 80-centimetre railway gun that fired 7-ton shells nearly 30 miles. It took thousands of workers to build and weeks to deploy. At Sevastopol, it punched through underground bunkers buried 30 meters deep. A weapon so enormous it barely seemed real. Now the secret weapons. The V-1 flying bomb, the world's first cruise missile. Over 10,000 launched at Britain. It flew at 500 kilometers per hour and gave almost no warning. Londoners learned to listen for the engine, because when it went silent, the bomb was already falling. The V-2 rocket, the world's first ballistic missile. It traveled faster than sound, which meant there was no warning at all, just a sudden catastrophic explosion. Over 3,000 were launched. The engineers who built it were taken to America and the Soviet Union after the war, where they built the rockets that launched humanity into space. And finally, the tactics that made it all work. Blitzkrieg, fast armor, close air support, and motorized infantry punching through enemy lines before they could react. Then exploitation units racing deep into enemy territory before anyone understood what was happening. France fell in 6 weeks. Poland in under a month. Blitzkrieg did not just win battles, it made entire armies collapse from the inside. Auftragstactik, mission tactics. The philosophy that every German soldier should understand the goal so completely that they could make independent decisions without waiting for orders. When communication broke down, German units adapted and pushed forward. Enemy units froze and waited. That difference alone won hundreds of engagements across every front of the war. German military power in World War II was never just one weapon or one idea. It was engineering, tactics, training, and aggression working together at a level the world had never seen. For years, it overwhelmed everything in its path. The world has never forgotten it, and it never should.